find it enabling.
Yeah, as I hope that's not just me and that there's just
Yeah, hopefully
the
just...
guys taking a little while to load in.
Yeah. Just waiting. Justin. Yeah, there we go.
As we're away!
Yeah, there was not even
Good start there from... And it's go, go, go! Good start there from Ron Ha, but TSD Kowalski is trying to make up a place and has already made a place on FRA LMG as he's now challenging Ron Ha, as Ron Ha kind of shuts the door on him, says you are not going there. Meanwhile, Syke Zaney in the Alpha Tauri has had a fantastic start and is and is going side by side with LMG, who's kind of just falling backwards a bit really at the start. Him and Syke Zaney are banging wheels, and Syke Zaney has the inside line. But LMG is going to try and hold it around the outside. Syke Zaney not giving him any room at all.
He's kind of going for it. Syke Zaney wants that third place as early as he can. I think... Oh no, they're still side by side. The pyramid is going
touch wheels
for
again. FRA LMG trying to hold it up the inside, but he does have to yield.
Another bit of contact there.
Make contact again.
But there we go. Syke Zaney just slots in ahead.
As up ahead, FRA Ron Ha and TST Kowalski kind of going at it. Kowalski using a lot of his ERS and flying past Ron Ha on the straight. But Ron Ha does have a bit more ERS than Kowalski, so maybe hoping to tuck in a bit. At the end of lap 1, it is Kowalski who leads. Ron Ha in second, Syke Zaney in third. Luckily, we haven't had too many timing glitches.
Yeah.
I think, unfortunately, Sam Tabner lost a few positions on the soft, as I've seen FRA Auto and Midzi 15 have gained a couple of places. As we're going to just get the position changes up now real quick. Yep, big gainers. Big gainers being, well, Kowalski and Syke Zaney, the obvious ones, and then TRT Caesar's gained a bit. As BPRL reversal, banging wheels with Zydrad, as Zydrad muscles his way through past the Racing Point driver. As up ahead, it is still Kowalski, followed by Ron Ha.
TRT Caesar there, he's trying to challenge the Racing Point of BRL, IMP. There, he's trying his best to hold on as they were coming through Luffield Day. But down the straight now, let's have a look what he... Yeah, he's trying to make a move into cops, but he's not quite close enough to even, well, to line himself up to make a move. He can line himself up, but he just can't dive down the side to make a move yet.
Yep, he's really struggling in the dirty air through those corners.
Yeah, 100%.
Kowalski and Ron Ha are kind of beginning to gap the rest, you have to say. Syke Zaney, he's really struggling to stay within the DRS of the top two. But it is Kowalski and Ron Ha who are 1-2 at the moment. Interestingly, there's a yellow flag. I don't know who was that. I think that's Reversal.
Yeah,
Reversal,
that is.
I think, had a little bit of a spin. It's a disaster for him as he's dropped down all the way to last now. He made up a couple of places at the start, but he's now lost them again. Yeah, really interestingly now, yeah, the top two have broken away, as I said, but then Syke Zaney is kind of heading a bit of a DRS train with him all the way down to HRT Heatwave and P19. And that plays the likes of Midzi 15 and FRT Auto into play, as they are on the medium tyre but can match the pace of the soft runners due to this train. Steering Kebab TV has said Reversal is going backwards, saying he loves to play on words.
Yeah. We're getting some compliments for our commentary doing well, so thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you guys, it's much appreciated.
Very appreciated.
As interestingly, I'm just going on board with Ron Ha, and Kowalski, he's clearly tried to use a lot of his ERS to try and break clear of Ron Ha, but Ron Ha has managed to stay within the DRS, showing how powerful that DRS is, and with more ERS is perhaps looking in a slightly stronger position than the TST guy. So perhaps looking to mount a challenge later on in the race. As it stands, it will be FRA taking the championship with 30 points, as TST only have the 25 points of Kowalski. So, but Ron Haar wants that bragging rights of the driver's win as well. He looks very, very hungry behind Kowalski.
Yeah, these are probably the closest pit on track at the 410. So, speaking of that,
No, they're not, as Syke Zaney has just lost the place to FRA LMG. I don't know whether he made a
my
mistake or
settings
whether
had changed to leader, so I was only getting the gap to leader. There we go. I think pretty much everyone is still close. I'm only on lap 4, so nobody's pulled mega ahead yet.
But yeah, FRA LMG, the two FRA guys do look to be very, very good on their ERS at the moment. And FRA LMG uses that to great effect to get past Syke Zaney. As Viper and TRT Danny are now closely behind. Vapor Cosme does look to have kind of lost touch of these guys from 3rd down to 7th a little bit, as that kind of invites Sam 29M and FRT Auto and the rest behind them to maybe potentially try something, but Sam has kind of made a mistake himself as well, actually.
Yeah.
But up ahead it is still Kowalski who leads from FRA Ron Haar.
Ron Haar's going to want to desperately catch him now.
Yeah. Oh, Zydrad just made a move on TST Blan. Don't know whether Blan has a bit of damage or something, but he's looking a bit shaky at the moment as he's lost the place to Kagoda as well. I did see a yellow flag in Sector 1, so maybe he had a bit of an off. I think he might have disconnected, you know?
Yeah.
I think TST Blan has disconnected,
yeah,
so...
I'll drop an invite now to get him back into the session.
Yep.
Double check. Let me double check if he's disconnected. I can see, obviously. Right, okay. So, can you take... Yep, there we go. TST Blan, I'll search him up.
Yep, it's just come up now saying he's left the
Yeah,
session,
I just saw that. We'll get him in.
It took quite a while to come up, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but...
we could see him drop in the order and it just didn't appear.
But yeah, now we're kind of entering maybe next few laps. People on the softs might potentially consider pitting. Given how close this field is, I highly doubt, given how long the pit lane be too.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of reverse the plan. I'm having disconnected. I'm having trouble inviting him. He won't let me send invites and he's on do not disturb mode anyway.
I'll quickly send him an invite now myself.
Yeah. We are on board with one of the mercs.
Yep, I've got him
there
an
we
invite.
go. Chris probably got the invite on session invite only, so yeah, I'm gonna guess it's probably the close event.
Yeah, real shame for him, as interestingly, the entire field, given Blan's disconnection, is a TST sandwich with Kowalski in the lead and Blan in P20. Like my little analogies here, and
yeah,
there's one of them. Let's dedicate some time to just having a look at the medium runners, such as Mitzi 15, who's
310s.
He's got a lot of ERS. He's 3/10 off Auto, and Auto's lost the DRS of Sam 29M, but could perhaps maybe invite Midzi, who's got a lot more ERS than the McLaren driver, to make a move and try and challenge and get up to near the soft runners. So he's going down the inside now into side by side. They bang wheels a little bit. Midzi's guy throws the hand up in frustration, but Midzi makes the move stick, so nice move there from the Red Bull driver. Puts himself into the points.
So the hand gesture then, as they did make contact, like we said, coming down down to Stowe. We'll keep an eye now. These are a pretty close bunch here, these medium runners. They are within a couple of tenths of each other, so this is going to be interesting to see now with the slipstream effect of this circuit. So yeah.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see now whether Midzi can use his extra ERS that he's got to maybe close up to Vapor Cosme Sound 29M, as BPRL Reversal has just made a move on TST Heatwave. Looked like a relatively simple DRS pass. Moves himself up into P18. Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see whether Midsy can catch up to these soft runners, and the soft runners are experiencing a bit of wear. Of course, him and his fellow medium tyre runners are going to be into play later on in the race.
Yeah, we've actually we've got some drivers with time penalties already. Let's have a little look. We've
Yep.
picked up some. It's TRT Caesar, yeah.
And HRT Heatwave have picked up penalties. As FRA LMG has pulled an early stop here.
That's very interesting to see.
He was a couple of seconds behind Kowalski and Ronha, and maybe perhaps feeling like higher, which
give
should
the
comfortably
undercut a
make the end
try.
from here. Yeah, give the undercut a try. Definitely worth doing. If you can get back in the DRS of these two in front, then that could be very, very important, as Ronha is now using a bit of his DRS. He's going to try and move on Kowalski here. Kind of looks up the inside a little bit as Ronha, but Kowalski shuts the door as Syke Zaney and Viper are battling it out. Going side by side. Again, they nearly bang wheels, but Viper's hanging in there. As he does have to back out into cops. So Syke Zaney has just picked up a time penalty. That's going to be huge for this race, as we've seen the DRS trains. But Viper does manage to make a fantastic move.
Syke Zaney is still not giving up though. He's still trying to come back at him now with the DRS down the hanger straight, and yeah, with the power of that DRS and the slipstream, he's through. And he's passed and buzzing him into P3. You can
this
see
battle certainly isn't over. As he dives very late into the pits.
Okay, yeah, FA Ronha into the pit as well. I'm 5 seconds
Oh,
time
was
penalty.
he sped in the pits? Syke Zaney sped into the pits. Oh, it's from having no penalties just 5 or 6 corners ago. He's now got multiple penalties, and yeah, he's really, really looking at a really, really rough spot at the moment. As Ronha, I believe, luckily for him, manages to avoid the traffic. I just
picked down to the Ferrari of TT Daniel. He's had a front wing change.
Oh, that maybe explains why. Maybe explains partly why there was beginning to be a bit of gaps forming with the medium runners.
Yeah.
But Ronha has been jumped by LMG. Look at that. So maybe Ronha was held in the pits a bit, or maybe LMG has just had an absolutely sterling outlap, but
yeah,
this perhaps maybe is going to be very, very telling for kind of where Kowalski's going to filter out after he makes his stop. As I am riding on board with the Haas driver now, we do expect him to be in the pits
very soon
at the end of his lap to cover off the FRA boys.
Syke got hit
also
apparently into the pit lane.
Yeah, Syke Zaney did speed into the pit lane.
No, apparently he got hit into the pit lane.
Oh, he got hit into the pit lane. Oh, I wonder whether someone picked up damage behind him then, maybe.
Well, would that make sense if TRT Daniel went in and hit the back of him and got the wing damage from the contact there?
Perhaps, yeah. I mean, that does make a lot of sense, but the driver we are now looking out for is FRA LMG, as Kowalski is in the pits now.
Where's Kowalski now?
Maybe he's ahead of Ronha because Ronha made a mistake.
Yeah, let's have a look now, LMG.
Maybe the undercut has worked, but let's see how they come out compared to Kowalski.
I think Kowalski's beating them out. The overcut's worked.
Yeah, Ronha must have made a mistake. Ronha must have made a mistake to get behind him. LMG, sorry. And yeah, Kowalski now has a 2-second buffer to the pair of them. As Zydrad and Lorne are battling it out. Zydrad, of course, on his medium compound tyres. As Master Swain in the Alfa Romeo, going very, very long, is now in the lead.
Yeah. Well, the estimated pit window for the soft runners have only now just opened the previous lap. So, Zydrad, there's Lorne and Master Swain. There's still the only 2 left on the soft. So, it'll be interesting to see if how much longer they plan on stretching those softs until they come in to take the mediums.
Oh, hang on. Speaking about the medium runners, BPRL Imp is trying to move on FRT Auto.
and TSD Bland has managed to get himself back into the session.
Yeah, he's made the move despite having 0% ERS and a dream. He has made the move stick as his little thing. Obviously, they haven't pit yet because they started on the mediums, but Midzy 15 now leads with Zydrad and P4, so come on, the SLR. Can't obviously don't expect it to finish like that unless there is a safety car, but showing good pace at the moment as Ron Haas just set the fastest lap, really trying to close back up to Kowalski after his mistake. All the SLR boys are saying stop the count in the chat now. I agree. Red flag.
And you might take on the trophy, a bit unfair there. Yeah, you got it.
We'll take it. We'll take it. But at the moment, it does still realistically probably look like the FRA guys are going to be taking the trophy despite Ron Haar's mistake. Kowalski does, of course, still lead effectively. As annoyingly, the gaps on my game have disappeared. The lawn just picks up a time penalty. But I'm kind of just having to judge by eye who's really looking quick at the moment. All of the gaps have returned. And what they have shown is BPRL Imp is heading a train of 4 drivers here of FRT Auto, Zydrad and Kagoda. As these medium guys have become massively detached from Midzy 15 in the Red Bull. It'll be really interesting to see where these medium guys feed out though. Kagoda's using a bit of ERS to try and get past Zydrad here. Zydrad is going to fight it on exit. And yep, manages to keep the position. These guys need to work together though. They're fighting with each other, can happen near the end of the race. They've got to make sure that they're right up there compared to the guys who started on the softs, as Midzy 15 picks up a time penalty. So that could be key come the end of the race when he's trying to fight through the medium runners, as Zydrad's lost it. Lost the position to Kagoda.
Yeah. Kagoda did just take up quite a lot of, well, missed the curb slightly and took quite a lot of grass exiting Chapel there, but we keep an eye now as he's going to be trying to hunt down his teammate, I expect. Or they might just hold position now and try do what they can to hold Zydrad off and maybe try and push then to get past BPRL IMP.
Yep. Oh, Zam29M and Vapor Cosme have just swapped positions. Zam29M moves up into P14, which we believe will be a effective P7. He's got a 4-second gap to Master Swain ahead of him, so it's going to be very, very difficult for him to close up that gap. You imagine?
Yeah.
Provided, of course, there is no safety car. But this race has been relatively clean so far, so I'll be fairly unlikely as now Kowalski is encountering his first bit of traffic.
It's actually Heatwave.
And Heatwave doesn't make it very difficult for him. He knows he's on a different race to Kowalski and doesn't want to
he's probably
interfere
a
with
much
him.
faster driver in general. And Master Swain has just managed to get past Syke Zaney there. He's putting a little bit of battle here.
Yep, Syke Zaney does of course have 8 seconds of penalties with his 3-second and his 5-second speeding in the pit lane penalty, but perhaps that penalty for speeding in the pit lane may get removed if someone did tap him to go into it, so maybe that's something that is not going to be fully resolved until after the race, but still doing a good job, Syke Zaney. He's lost a few positions since his absolutely sterling start, but is running well nonetheless. As BPRL IMP, or BPRL Imp, has made his first and presumably only stop of the race for a set of soft compound tyres. Tyre wear is quite minimal around here, so they should make the end.
Yeah.
So he's trying to spring the undercut on the likes of Midzy and the McLaren guys.
Very interesting to
as
see,
Heatwave has just gone right out of the way of the FRA boys as well, as he doesn't want to be ruining anyone's races.
Yeah, very early stop coming from IMP there. He's put the softs on with about just over half the race distance left to go. I was quite surprised that he's pitted this early. He must have been struggling on those mediums then.
Yeah, or simply just wants that good track position.
Yeah, could be.
Every single lap that they do on the older mediums is going to play the guys on the newer mediums into play a bit more. So that is going to be something definitely to look out for with his position relative to Midzi. And of course he does have 0 penalties, so
yeah,
that's something that could come into play later on this
we
race.
obviously, the 3 drivers ahead of him have got penalties. I'm going to double check. I think Sam Tabner had 6 seconds. I may be wrong, I'll double check now. Yeah, Sam Tabner was 6 seconds, Daniel with 5 seconds, and Caesar with 3 seconds. So if he can get in range with them, he's going to move up a couple more positions. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see as Zydrad and
Zydrad
FRT,
auto pit.
Yeah.
They've reacted to BPR LIMP, but yeah, it'll be
Like I spoke
interesting
a
to
little bit
see.
earlier on about the collision in the pit lane where we were told that there was a bit of an incident and a time penalty with obviously Psychzania. I'm going to have a look now if I can find Daniel. Yes, TRT Daniel, like we did mention, we predicted, they have collided. I'm just having a little look now in the race director across the instance screen. On lap 8, they ran to the back of each other. So that's where the 5 second time penalties come from.
And that's where the damage came. Yep.
Yeah.
You got that absolutely cracked. As FRT Auto and Zydrad have kind of lost a bit of time compared to BPR LIMP, but they are going to have fresher tyres as Zydrad tries the move on Auto, but kind of makes contact with him a bit and has to cede the position. They're probably expecting Midzi 15 in this lap to cover off all these guys.
Yeah.
Yep, he's in now. So that will hand the race to Kagoda unless he comes in. No, he does come in himself.
There, that's a new BPR
So maybe Reversal wants a lap in the lead. Maybe Reversal wants a lap in the lead.
Yep,
he does. Yep.
Can't
blame
him.
him. There could potentially be a safety car, but sure he will be in the next couple of laps himself anyway.
Yeah, next.
But this will be interesting with Midzi compared to the other soft runners. As really that's where I reckon most of the remaining overtakes and stuff are going to come from this race, are the other soft runners fighting their way through. Yep, on board with Midzi now as he's coming out of the pits. As look at that, he's been undercut by BPR LIMP, who is now behind Sam Tabner. So lost out a bit on track position, Midzi, but he's going to have
we have a bit of a battle,
tyres.
obviously. Yeah, if you're looking for the mid.
Oh, it's like Zany's just gone up the inside of Heatwave.
And I think the same is being done there by BPRL on Sam Tabner. He just got up the inside there, but this is going to turn into a 3-way battle very soon as Midzi's just joined the. He's jumped on the back of the Alpha Tauri of Sam Tabner, and but then the problem is BPRL is just pulling away.
Yeah, Midzi's kind of got to make the move as early as he can. It's kind of pushed a bit off the track, kind of said you are not. Sam Tabner's kind of just said you are not getting through here, mate, and keeps the position for now as Zydrad has picked up another penalty, so that's going to impact his race sadly, but Midzi 15 using a lot of ERS trying to get past Sam Tabner once and for all. As yep, he makes the move stick. Relatively simple one, you have to say. Fresh tyres versus older tyres. As Reversal has stayed out for another lap.
Yeah, I think he wants a couple of laps in the lead, but speaking of that, Kowalski has gained quite a lot of him, he's 3 tenths down, so I wouldn't be all surprised if Kowalski would make a move. Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
there we go, yeah.
easy.
Fresh mediums against old mediums, 10 lap difference, there's no arguing there, or nothing further to be said, that's just easy to get past. Very nicely indeed.
That's now another battle is BPR Olymp versus Midzi. Midzi, of course, on the fresher tyres. As the 2 TRT guys of Danny and Caesar have swapped positions ahead of them. I'm presuming they've maybe just trying to give each other DRS each lap, kind of gain each other lap time. As Vapor Cosme is now right behind HRT Heatwave. I don't expect Heatwave will make this too easy because his teammate of Sam29M is just ahead of them, as the two FRA guys have swapped position now, interestingly.
Yeah, the two FRA boys are about 2 seconds off the back of Reversal, but Reversal should, well, I wonder how long it'll be till he decides to come in. Maybe 2 now.
Vapor Cosmic
yeah.
gets past Heatwave now. Relatively easy move. As Midsy's now closing up to this train and potentially looking at a P8, which will become a P7 after Reversal pits. Should be a reasonably good showing, I think.
Yeah.
From his starting position. But yes, this train, which was a train at the start of the race, has now resumed. Except there's some guys on mediums and some guys on fresh softs, so definitely make a difference. As Midsy 15 is, closing up to the FRA, to the TRT boys, I should say. Or Sam Tabner and FRET also are battling it out.
Yeah. And then Zydra's also on the back of this battle as well, man. I've noticed these two Red boys, the two Red Bull boys, done quite brilliantly. They jump in on the back of every battle they can. They're just picking up the pieces of what's left over a battle, they just get the scraps, which is a key thing really in a battle you're going to want to do. Is just grab whatever happens, just pick up the pieces of the battle and make it easier for yourself instead of wasting your time battling and losing time to other drivers.
They're two very, very smart drivers.
Yeah.
Was HRT Heatwave has kind of got in the way of TRT Caesar a bit as he does go into the pits. Was the two TRT boys are basically just blocking Midsy from getting through completely, and he's made contact with them a couple of times now. I don't know whether he's picked up damage. I hope not.
There's a look like from my end, I'll keep an eye on them.
But a bit of gamesmanship perhaps from the two TRT boys to try and keep their positions over the soft runners.
Yeah, Red Bull looks fine at the moment, no damage at all to it.
Was
that's a
Midsy's
spin!
gone off?
And he collected PPR LIMP.
Oh. Yeah, but he's also listening to Sam Tabner and Zydrad. Was FRT, I think, having some connection issue, or whether that's Zydrad or... But yeah, big incident there involving Midsy and the two TRT guys, but he's collected himself, he avoided the barrier, so...
Yeah.
Could be worse.
A lot of people in the chat not very happy with our incident at all.
Yeah, they're annoyed at the TRT guys for the way they defended, and
I can admit that. Well, I'm not gonna bad chat my team, but I think he just had like a bit of defense, and a bit of a harsh defense, and obviously it looked like he cut off obviously Midsy there, and he just
As the yellow flag as
Heatwave.
As HRT Heatwave has lost it.
Yeah, just a spin.
As now the two FRA guys are catching up and passing Reversal.
Other people then, the BPRL guy saying that Red Bull dropped it himself. Because I think he just dropped it after the harsh defense. There was no contact, he was just blocked, defended off very harshly. And then he just obviously had nowhere to go, so I think he just dropped it. And it didn't spin.
Something for the stewards room, definitely.
Yeah, definitely for the stewards have a little look into.
I'm sure these guys are going to be having completely different views on the incident. And of course, it's involving our two teams, so
yeah,
kind of
bit controversial.
Couldn't write it really, to be honest. But
I'm still surprised the Reversal has stayed out this long.
He's just praying for a safety car. That's really his only.
Yeah.
That's really his only game plan here, I expect. But even if he gets one, I don't think it'd gain him enough time to
No.
be looking good. And you'd have to say that on those fresh softs, he probably would have been able to close up to the train that is headed by, well, it's headed by Sam 29M at the moment. And look at the amount of guys that have penalties in that train. He doesn't have one. He could have been looking at a good result, but I guess you've got to take risks. And that's the risk he's taken.
Yeah, BPRL is losing time to a lot of drivers now, be a reversal.
Definitely. As now the TRT guys are trying to turn defense into attack. Oh, as the two Alfa Romeos and an Alfa Tauri. I thought that was just the Alfa Romeos swapping position, but
then the Alfa
Syke
Tauri's
Zaney's got in there
involved.
with him. But Syke Zaney's got in there as well, and making it a three-way battle as the yellow flag is set to 3, and Vapor Cosme's gone off.
Yeah, he's had a bit of a spin there. Coming out of stone.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether he was maybe trying to make a move on Sam or was fighting a couple of the TRT boys. He was kind of in that area with those guys. It was a very, very close
Sam's
train.
pitted as well. So Sam's come in.
Sam's not pitted, has he? Sam stayed out. Sam stayed
sorry,
out.
that's my bad then. Who come in then? Oh, reversal come in, that's what it was.
Yeah, reversal came in. As Master Swain has just picked up a penalty. It's going to affect his race a bit, but Syke Zaney, we know, has a couple himself. As Syke Zaney has made the move on Viper. Very, very close battle here, as is the battle between Kagoda and Sam Tabner. As Zydrad's managed to find his way up into P11, so did a fantastic job from his starting spot. Does have a couple of penalties, but flying the flag after Midzi 15 had that spin. As TRC Caesar has just picked up a penalty himself. He did already have one, so... Zydrad's picked up another one himself.
It's rather unfortunate, I would say, as well, for Blan, who is... haven't really had a chance to recover, really, from disconnection at the start. Titi Daniel and Sam are having a bit of a fight to be heard. Yeah, Daniel just gets him ahead there.
Yep. Nice move from him. Sam not fighting it too hard. He knows that Danny has a penalty, so we'll finish ahead of him anyway.
Yeah.
As Zydrad's now looking at a move on FRT Auto. I think they pitted on the same lap, so there's no tyre advantage at all. This is just pure racing for provisionally the final spot in the points before penalties. And Zydrad has made the move. Fantastic overtake around the outside from Zydrad, and can he now maybe fight the FRA? The TRT boys, I should say.
Yes.
But no, he fights back. FRT also fights back and regains the position. Fantastic turning defence back into attack.
This battle's going to get big. There's a massive train of drivers all the way down to about... There's 7 drivers, yeah. So from Daniel down to about Midzi, these are all battling like mad. And then you've got only 2 drivers in the mix of this battle who haven't picked up penalties at all yet throughout the race, with 2 laps still to go, and all the rest got penalties. So this will be really interesting deciding on spots and positions at the end of this race. As Midzi, speaking of penalties, Midzi picks himself up a penalty, so yeah.
Yeah, that is very, very interesting. As further ahead, there is still another battle going on, the battle for P4. So,
yes,
drivers fighting until the absolute last. Syke Zaney maybe potentially trying another move on Master Swain, or as reversal sets the fastest lap of the race. So
yeah.
Those fresh soft tyres, but maybe one of the top 3 has a decent bit of ERS and can maybe give it a go themselves. The 2 FRA boys can maybe use slipstream one another,
yeah,
to perhaps get one of them the fastest lap of the race as well. Oh, as in this massive train, Midzi 15 is looking very racy against Sam Tabner. Or as Ron Ha has just got past his teammate LMG, so a little bit of team
with
play
the
from the
RS
FRA
now,
guys.
and Saigzani
Sam 29.
Yeah.
Saigzani and Master Swain are battling it out. They're going side by side.
Yeah, very nice there.
Yep. Oh, but Saigzani goes deep.
Yeah, there's a bit of a lock.
And that allows Master Swain to get through.
Ooh, this is the rear
Does
end.
that maybe allow
there.
Viper to get through? Nope. Saigzani shuts the door on Viper.
Yeah. Viper's closer to make a move, I would definitely say, down the Welton Straight.
Yep. Yep, definitely. I'll kind of be looking at a move there myself, and he knows that if he can get the position on Saigzani, as Saigzani goes out of shape slightly, that these two Alfa Romeos can therefore work together after that.
We're obviously on the penultimate lap of the race now. The FRA boys are still close, but I don't think there'll be a change of position there in the top three at all. Kowalski's pretty much just gone off with that. It's just carried off with our.
After what I can only assume was a mistake by Ron Ha on his in lap or on his out lap, Kowalski kept the lead, and the offence of the FRA boys has been strong against him, but he's kept calm and is still in the lead himself. Could still, of course, be penalties between the top three. You never know. There could be a penalty cropping up that could change the result.
Yeah, so that's to have a little look at penalties and the types of penalties each of the drivers are on in the top three. Another top three behind the top three.
I think Viper, FRT Auto are going to be two drivers that are going to gain massively due to pens.
Yeah, I can go to penalties. I've gone up
Definitely
on my screen, but you probably can't see what you on the team on stream is. Swain with 3 seconds, Saigzani was at 11 seconds, followed by Titi Daniel with 5 seconds after the collision in the pit lane. Sam 29M with 3 seconds, TRT Caesar 6 seconds, Pagoda with 3 seconds, Sam Tapman with 15 seconds, 6 seconds for Midzi, Lone is 3 seconds, PPR reversal 3 seconds, 6 seconds for Bland, and 9 seconds for Heatwave.
Yep. We are going through the final lap now, and I guess who's been your driver of the day? We'll get up little position changes. Good little vote for driver of the day. We know who's got penalties and who doesn't. As the two FRA boys, I think, are maybe gonna kind of go line and side to the flag, but we're gonna go on board with Kowalski. Didn't have the ideal qualifying by his standards, qualifying in P3, but he made the moves early on the FRA boys and has taken the victory. Ron Ha takes P2, LMG takes P3, which does mean that FRA are your Emblem Esports Championship winners.
Yeah, very.
Master Swain takes P4, but Viper gets it on penalties as we suspected. As further down, Zydrad and FRT Auto are battling out to the flag. Zydrad does get the position on track, but penalties falls down a bit, as FRT Auto shoots all the way up to P6 after penalties, so great job from him, even overtaking Saigzani.
Yeah, then obviously TRT
Danny
Caesar has dropped down from P10. Penalties have definitely impacted a lot of drivers' results here.
And the fastest lap was got by BPRL reversal. And there we have it. Are we going to do a party for the top 3 after the race?
Not too sure.
Quite know. Can do if we want. May as well.
Yeah, why not?
Get Ron Ha, LMG, and Kowalski in. I'm not, if possible, anyway.
It's fine.
As the game is awarded Kagoda with the vote for driver of the day.
Top 5 in, or top 3 in, hopefully.
So there we have it. Kowalski, Ronha, LMG are your podium finishers. Kind of in a race of their own, really, you have to say. 10 seconds ahead of P4, and then you had the battle, of course, for P4, and then the rest of the train kind of making up the rest of the points finishes. Honourable mentions, of course, to Kagoda for getting knocked out in Q1 but managing a point, partly due to his lack of penalties. So good drive from him. FRT Auto up 5 positions with 0 penalties whatsoever. And then of course, TST Kowalski for gaining those 2 positions.
Yeah, so I'd definitely say a very good race. So we didn't have any boring points. We had, I think, battles somewhat every part of the race had its own little action going on. So we've kept us on our feet and haven't bored off viewers.
Yep.
Yeah, just gotta wait now to see what happened with the Ferraris and obviously out between our 2 teams now after that little incident, and obviously with the 1 racing point.
So there we have it. FRA are your first Emblem Esports champions, as I have said.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if there'll be another event in the future.
Yep. I think this one worked very, very well. Of course,
yeah.
It's been, of course, the chat has got quite heated with people from different teams kind of annoyed at certain conduct from other drivers. But you're going to get that at this level, aren't you?
Yeah, you're going to find out wherever you go.
Yeah, TST Balan is in the chat, kind of annoyed at the game. Obviously, he got disconnected. Very, very unlucky for him. Sometimes just nothing you can do. I mean, it's just really luck whether you get connected or disconnecting or something. And yep, thank you, and thank you guys, thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, thanks everybody for watching. We'll probably, hopefully, don't know if we'll be back again, but Emblem Esports, it should probably just keep an eye on the Twitter feed, I would suggest, for anything for more events in future.
Yep. Yes, thank you, of course, to Emblem Esports for hosting. Be sure to check them out, and congratulations to FRA.
Yeah, congratulations to taking home their trophies for long.
Yep. So I think that's probably all we got time for at the end of this event. Thank you for watching, and good